All right, welcome to Philip Gospel Multidimensional. This is all about life, all of life, all for life's purpose with Philip Gospel Yazanam. And this is part two of I Know and I Have Met Prophet TB Joshua. I know and have met Prophet TB Joshua part two. There are three things I left out on purpose. Number one or two, let me combine them into two because number one and two are built in one. One reason that Prophet TB Joshua was banned from PFN and every other person was told to dissociate from him was the fact that they asked him two questions that he should be able to answer, and until he answered those two questions, he will never be admitted into PFN or nobody will have anything to do with him. One question: when exactly did he get born again? Second question: who is his spiritual father? I mentioned in passing in my first video about I have met a non-prophet TB Joshua that he told us, and we found that to be true, that he went to some father figures in this nation. One of them was from Southern Kaduna, where I hail from. I withhold the name on purpose. And asked him to father him. He stayed days to see the man. The man refused to even grant him audience to start with. For days, he was waiting to see a human being that is a man of God. Denied him audience. That was his mission. And every other person he approached, nobody actually gave him attention or saw that he was a potential. You know, there are these people that like to father people that they see potential, potential in them. I reserve my words, my comments. All right. So there was no way he was able to produce those two. So for that, he was banned from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. And I tell you, a lot of us are guilty. Like myself, I can tell you the year I got born again. I can't tell you the exact date and exact time. Do you understand that? So that's a problem for most people, and they feel that you are not safe. And there are several other people who are feeling guilty when you hear people begin to speak like that. How can you get born again and you cannot remember the date and that? Your spiritual birth is more than your physical birth. They didn't tell us. They didn't tell us. And there are many people they didn't tell, so we didn't know. All right. I got born again. I was still under my father, my biological father, late Reverend Philip Yazonam of blessed memory. All right. Wonderful man of God. We didn't know how much important it was to actually write those dates, you know. Learn prayer, learn fasting from my biological father. Privilege to be one of the men of God in Southern Kaduna whose children got into ministry by privilege. All right, among other ministers in Southern Kaduna. It's quite a privilege. All right. Even if others came, they came behind some of us. But the first among Pentecostal ministers of his age and time who actually sprang into the priesthood is a privilege. I served, like I told you, under Archbishop Joseph Jatoyari of the Gospel Life Mission and the frontline convener or vision coordinator of GLAFNET, of GLAFNET. Served under Apostle E. Bako, mentored for over 10 years by Pastor Micah and Jume Jaga, fathered presently by Dr. Abel Damina, controversial man, as people call him. Wonderful man of God. Wonderful man of God. So Prophet TB Joshua could not actually say his rule like I'm quoting now. I schooled under Reverend Dr. Mewa Azi Dandaura Samu, Wise Partners, Jos. Schooled under him, ordained by him, his ministry, carrying licenses of that ministry. He's a father figure to me. That's my root. That's where I'm coming from. That's where I'm coming from. All right. So TB Joshua didn't have that. One, he didn't have the educational qualification to actually be able to have that level of intelligence to assimilate and do certain things. But he had the wisdom to actually do something. I knew he needed a father and he went for one. Sought for it until he didn't find and he began to go on his own. If that is a crime, Shikena, that was his crime. Some of us will begin to go into Bible and say Elijah was the father of Elijah. This one begin to bring Bible characters. Paul is the father of Timothy. So who is your father? Who was the mentor of John the Baptist? Who was the spiritual father of John the Baptist? Do you get? All right. So let's leave that. Let's leave that. Priscilla and Aquila, who was their spiritual father? Who was the spiritual father? Who is the spiritual father of Apostle Paul, who wrote to part of the New Testament? Who is the spiritual father? His father figure. So let's leave these things and not make life so complicated for people. I believe in fatherhood. I believe that everybody living should have somebody you submit to and call a father over you who can sit you down, rebuke you, counsel you, tell you to shut up when you need to shut up, and you have to listen. I believe in that. But that was not enough reason to have to have uh, 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 actually took that man out completely like that and make him look like a devil, painted him so to a lot of people. Do you understand? There are people that I respect who call him names. I don't have a problem because what I said, like I said, is based on what I have seen, heard, and handled with my hand concerning the man TB Joshua of blessed memory. The other aspect of his life that is like the man is looking mysterious, mysterious, mysterious. Like I said, first he was unschooled. When he began to grow in his ministry, these are dynamics. These are things I found out that are heart touching. Till tomorrow, I'm grateful to have met that man and I've learned those things. Do you know that Emmanuel TV, everybody operating his camera, his editors, and all of that, they were not trained in Nigeria. That man raised money to send them overseas. I can't remember the exact country he sent those guys to train. That guy literally had to learn how to wear clothes. He started learning how to dress. The kind of dressing that people now saw in Polish is not wearing that long gown and leaving beards. He could do a nice, some people are leaving their beard today and they're even taking his beard style, his haircut style today to look prophetic, look mysterious, and look anointed. All right. But you know that he had a terrible look at his onset or startup of ministry, which he was not ashamed of, which he owned up to, which he shared with us, and why those things are there, and why his transformation took place the way it did. He trained, he got access, and began to send people to different parts of the country to train. That's why Emmanuel TV is unique in its production. Do you understand? And there are many ministers today who will have the opportunity to send workers in their ministry to train overseas who will know. But that guy did. He did. That was why we believe what he wanted to do with the network of persevering faith ministers. These are the things I actually left out because in the first video I said I'm going to talk about this later, and I later did it. Talking about this issue of PFN banning him as a result of not knowing his spiritual father or not saying the date of his actually getting born again. And then I wanted to also talk about this his heart of training and equipping his staff. Not that you serve under a ministry, man, they are doing you same fault. They give you nothing. There are ministers you serve under. It's like what they say. It's like they are cursing you indirectly when you are living there. Should that be? Should that ever be? Should that ever be? You are with them. They are training their children. They are not. They are not empowering you. They are not looking at you becoming a better person. They are not. They are not after you. They are just looking at what you can bring and your input into the ministry. This guy was all out. There's nobody who have served under the Emmanuel TV and the Synagogue Church of All Nations that he was not on the lookout to better their lives than when they met him or when they came. That's what ministries will be like. So once more, I love, I honor, I respect the late Prophet TB Joshua of blessed memory. I am not ashamed to say that I know him and that I've met him and that he's a wonderful man. I don't care about your testimony. I love that guy. All right? That is that. So thank you for being part of this part 2. Please subscribe to my channel. In my channel, I'm not just going to be talking about TB Joshua. There are a lot of things I do in my channel. I share the word of God. I crack jokes. I bring motivational talk. I do a lot of training and stuff. So just keep following. And when you follow, please make sure you give a like. Keep liking and click the notification bell so that each time I send a video, you will be able to be notified so that you can catch it immediately. And please share to as many as you can. Thank you so much for being part of Philip Godswill Multidimensional. I see you in my next.